Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Q&A at Hawkeye Rides. I'm Anthony,
And I'm Issa.
and we're going to, as soon as people tag on, we're a few minutes late starting. We had some technical difficulties again with this webcam, but we'll be answering any questions for vehicles. Also, while we're waiting, I wanted to touch bases about that Mike Tyson fight last night. I thought that it was extremely paid off, and I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, he was biting his knuckles his fist the entire time. He didn't even fight.
Literally
Just the
had
first round.
his gloves in his mouth the whole round. He didn't even throw a punch. It was just ridiculous. I mean, we actually watched the whole boxing event, and when we got up to that point, because we had family come over, I was just like, man, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a complete waste of time.
But we would also like to thank everybody from joining last week and the week prior. We're going to also start adding memberships in the next week or so. That's going to give perks to the channel and some more behind the scene things with Hawkeye Rides. We also have Yusuf here. He's trying to come in somehow. Here we go. So I figured we'd bring the boys in today. And any questions? You guys want to start off?
You just want to start off?
You can start off.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about Maserati trying to go EV with the Ghibli?
I think it's a bad decision, especially in the times that we're in, because if you've noticed, even Porsche and Audi is starting to think that they may have went the wrong route. Even Mercedes has been kind of scaling back with it. So EVs, especially with the new administration, I mean, we're going to see the way it goes.
Alpha's also going EV.
I know, Alpha as well. What's your favorite car, Yusuf?
It's Bugatti Velayed.
Uh,
Because it's the fastest car in the world. It's a track car.
okay. You also like Mercedes, too. You've been in several Mercedes reviews.
Yeah,
and
Mercedes is good.
Yeah. What was your favorite one when we reviewed them?
Forgot the name
Was
of
it
it.
the S-Class?
One with the white interior.
The S-Class.
Yeah, the S-Class.
Yeah. So he likes more of a
It was
luxury
comfortable.
vehicle. Yeah.
This class is kind of fell off.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
S-Class is not the same as it used to be. The aesthetics in the interior, I feel they went a little bit more plastic instead of giving like an upscale interior design. The performance isn't bad, though, and it drives really smooth.
Yeah. They're not selling any, so they had a recall. I mean, not recall, but they had to.
They're
shut down
scaling
the S
back.
class.
Yeah, and then Honda has a huge recall right now, which hopefully will be bringing some more hybrids to the channel. But as of right now, most of the vehicles are stop sell, so you can't drive them because they can potentially catch fire.
Yeah, and then what else? M5 is starting to come into America now.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be bringing that. I'm hoping before December we should probably have something with the M5 for a review.
What about Volkswagen?
Volkswagen, I was just at that dealership last week. We did the Jetta. We did a couple Jettas. We did the GLI, we did the Sport, and then we did the Atlas, which they've done a few updates on the new Atlas. And then this week coming, we're going to be going to Land Rover, Range Rover, BMW, possibly Toyota, Mini, and Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Mazda. So it's a really busy week, but we have a lot of vehicles that we're trying to bring back onto the channel for 2025 models.
So do you think with the new M5 going hybrid, do you think that was a bad step for BMW?
I mean, I think when you do hybrid or plug-in hybrid, it's a good way to offset the MPGs, and it gives the opportunity that you can continuously drive your vehicle instead of having to charge it for 30 minutes to an hour or whatever the case is. Especially in most cases, some people may not even use the plug-in hybrid at the beginning. And with some of the technology like Porsche, it's literally recouping the miles as you're driving by between 25 and 35%. So I think the technology is getting better for it. And I like the fact that you can just do a quick plug at your house. Not a huge fan of all the batteries, but in the same aspect, it's times that we're in.
Yeah.
Would you get an M5?
It's a bit of a long vehicle, so I would be more of an
It's sporty
M4.
though.
Yeah, but it's a 4-door. I would be more of an M4 guy, probably like a convertible or a coupe. I like the convertible a little
What
bit
about
better.
the CSL?
Hmm?
What about the CSL?
M4.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have a good deal on it, because once you start going into more elaborate price, it's going to be expensive. That's basically
Yeah,
it.
and the newer M4s have almost the same exact performance, if not better.
Yeah,
than the
because they've added
CSL.
20 horsepower this year.
Yeah, and it has like most of the aesthetics it has too.
And even with like the MA competition, it doesn't make sense because the M4 competition, you get just a few tenths of a second less in a 0 to 60, and you're saving like 50 grand.
Yeah,
You could literally buy a Toyota and an M4 competition convertible and have the weekend and your MPGs.
it's true.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car? I mean, it kind of depends because the price range now is more at the 50 to 100,000 and $150,000 price. So I tend to like the performance of BMW. I like the luxury of Mercedes and Audi. So I hate to say if they had like a blend of them because like the seat cushions are a little bit better when it goes into Mercedes. Audi has a good suspension layout as well, and the sound deadening is better in them. BMW is great with performance, but if you're thinking about driving like cross state, sometimes you like those cushions.
What
Yeah,
about Mini Cooper?
Mini Cooper, I like them. I just feel like ultimately they've went to this recycled material so much inside that it's taken away from the brand, and it's also a lot more bland inside. They don't have like that performance look anymore unless you go JCW.
aren't they discontinued JCW?
No.
They're not.
No.
Oh, I thought they were. It looks like the X3 all the minis now, and the interior.
Well,
that
yeah,
bad.
they're keeping that fabric type material, which I'm not a huge fan of it because obviously longevity purposes, and it's hard to keep clean, especially if you spill something like coffee or anything like that.
What about the Urus? Would you rather get a Urus or RSQ8?
Yours.
The only
RSQ8.
reason why you would go Urus is because you're trying to get kind of that status, I guess you can say, because the RSQ8 is more or less the same vehicle, and you could tune it to be more powerful, and in some cases, it can be a little bit better.
It's a good SUV though.
Do you like the M5? I do like the M5. I a little questionable on the hybrid system, but I like that. At least we're still getting a V8 twin turbo, so I think they did a good job with that. But just like Porsche, they're doing the same things. The M3, I like the M3, but
M5 is better.
I would go M5 if I
M3
was
is
doing
good.
it. I mean, at that price though, it's completely different.
Yeah, but I'd
Yeah,
still go
M5's
M5.
better.
I would do like an M340 and tune it.
No, I'll get an M5.
M340 and put the sports suspension.
M340 is not as good as an M3.
They are great cars. I mean, performance-wise, it's hard to knock BMW. Porsche is good, but they've went so much on their value. Like they're so expensive now. And like I was just at Porsche this past week when I went to Chevy, and they were like, we're selling 911 GT3s all day, like 50 grand over sticker. And I'm just like, man, $50,000 on top of the insane price that they're already charging. That's crazy.
Do you recommend?
I would do the SQ8. I just posted a review of one yesterday. So if you didn't check that one out, you can see the reason why I would go that route. Pricing though is going to be a little bit more steep. I mean, you're talking at least $25,000 to maybe $35,000 difference, and you will have to tack features on either of the two. So if you go Q8 or SQ8, you definitely want to option the black optic package. It's going to give you increased wheels. You may want to consider the Sport S package. That's about $6 grand. You could live without it, but it's going to add a few things as well. The exhaust resonator, it's about $1 grand. I would recommend that.
I don't know about
It's an everyday car.
Yeah, it's more of an everyday car. I'm
It
starting to
is.
see a lot of them on the road now.
Yeah,
They're popping up,
definitely
especially
an
like
everyday car.
2020 models, 2021 models. I mean, you're starting to see those trickle in about 60, 70 grand now. They're good vehicles. I mean, as long as you maintain a vehicle, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, almost all of them should be good in longevity. Now, there is things that you could be concerned about, like with BMW, some of the older models have where they'll have false code readings, and people may think there's a problem, but there's not. That's why it's a false code.
Depends on the Range Rover.
I don't, with Range Rover for recommendations, it's tough. I like that they're incorporating things with BMW and there's using the German ZF automatic transmission. So that makes it more bulletproof, but you're still going to have the suspension components that go bad. You're still going to have some of the mechanisms, the motors for the seats, they go bad. There's just a few things that cost some money on Range Rover. They're great vehicles. Range Rovers are great vehicles, especially for luxury and styling. Some of the styling elements I don't agree with, but like the two shark fin antennas, I think that's stupid.
I feel they copy Mercedes a little bit with some of their luxury, like their seating, the way they have the seat thing laid out to adjust your
Yeah,
seating.
but then if you go Mercedes, if you're taking a bend in the road in the S-Class, the seat will contour to keep you level. I think that technology is amazing.
Right.
Range
We're gonna go
Rover
back
does
to
have some nice
Audi.
cars.
Yeah. Yeah, Range Rover, I mean, they very stylish. They don't age too bad. It just depends on how many owners deep you get it. If you get a vehicle that's more than 2 owners deep, if you're going pre-owned, you may want to not just check the Carfax, but really do a good quick look over because we've seen a lot of broken things in Range Rovers.
Yeah,
Right. Going back
great
to Audi.
dealership.
Do you like the R8?
I like the R8. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think R8's nice.
they discontinued the R8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, would you get the new e-tron GT?
Do you recommend a 2022 Range Rover Sport?
The only thing that I would be cautious about is because it's the older body. So you will get an awesome deal because the depreciation's already there. If you're all right with the styling to it, I would say go for it. I mean, that's the best bang for your buck. You could probably get like almost an autobiography for more than half the price off now.
Yeah.
And with low miles too. They do look good. It's just because the new one is refreshed completely different. So like the infotainment screen is outdated. The touch pads on the steering wheel is not as sleek. But if you're the one owning it, you're not going to be really concerned about that because you obviously like that year. And most people that enter into a Range Rover may not have been in so many of them as well. So it's not like if it's me entering into it, I'm going to obviously say it's a great vehicle and I'm going to point out the pros and cons. But if it's just like your friends and family, they're going to say, wow, that's an awesome vehicle.
Do you like electric cars?
Not a big fan.
They're not bad. It just depends on the electric car.
Do you like
Yeah.
Tesla?
Yeah, they're pretty decent. They're not bad. I
And
like
we're
the S.
planning on bringing a Cybertruck hopefully next week. We've had to change dates several times, so hopefully we can bring that to the channel. We have a couple that's coming in. The only electric car I like is the Taycan.
Mm.
I do have a Taycan on the channel already.
Taycan's good.
I didn't. They didn't have a 25 model when I went this last time, so I will be doing that one as soon as they have it available. I mean, Tesla. Like I said before, there's people that just love it and people that dislike it. But in the same aspect, like they're kind of the innovation for the electric vehicles. The quality, I mean, they don't really put a lot of aesthetics in their vehicle. It's literally just a screen. I mean, we were in one last week. Or the
I would
week
say
before.
Tesla's alright because there's not that many cars that I like that's from Tesla. Just a few.
Playing the video games is cool
The
because you get to use the
S5
steering wheel.
and the Cybertruck's
It's really
good.
hard
That's
to play
really
them
it.
though.
Or the road.
The reason why the Taycan I feel flopped is because they made an inexpensive version and an expensive version. They did the same thing with the Macan a few years back. When it first came out, you could get a GTS Macan for like 80 grand.
Yeah, and
which
it appreciated really badly.
yeah, and it didn't make sense because you can't sell certain vehicles at those prices. The e-tron is, I would say, the better route to go because it's a huge deal in savings, and you don't see as many of them. You probably see the Taycan everywhere.
Yeah, the Cybertruck is massive. It's a beast. It was the superhero for the hurricane.
Yeah, you can see they love the Cybertruck. So that's why we're working to bring one of those. Hopefully they have it. Like I said, we got confirmation a week and a half ago, and we've had to reschedule a couple of times. So hopefully they'll come in.
Superhero is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, every vehicle when it comes out, I feel has a little bit of that overrated status. It's more of an excitement. Even when I go to review newer vehicles, I get really excited when they're refreshed because it's like it's a new vehicle, even though it might just be aesthetics.
The TRX is better.
But yeah, TRX is great. The X5,
great. It's better.
yeah,
than the Cybertruck.
yeah,
Would you get an R6?
Yeah. Best wagon.
It's
yeah.
a really good wagon.
The X5 is an awesome vehicle. I mean, even if you don't go to the M60 or M50, depending on the year you're at, I think you'll have plenty of power and you have the luxury in there. The Cayenne,
Taycan is nice.
the Cayenne is good. I mean, we looked, like I said before, about trying to buy one. Just, I feel like if you get a Cayenne, you want to at least go into the S. That's what you were basically getting to, because I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a turbo.
I'll
Yeah.
get turbo.
Yeah, but the pricing, that's the problem.
I'll get
Once you-
turbo.
Wait,
Sorry,
how
go.
much is the MSRP on a turbo?
I mean, once you start going past the Cayenne S, the Cayenne S is typically in $100,000, 120. So once you get like a Turbo S or something, like the price is just
150?
crazy. Yeah, it goes a lot. 150, 180, 200.
I'll get an X5 then.
The e-hybrid is good. I don't necessarily recommend it unless you're buying it new or you get a certified warranty, because we have a neighbor, he got rid of his, and he told us that the reason why he got rid of it is the battery was going bad, and it was like, what was it, 20, 30 grand, he said?
Yeah.
Just for the battery.
Oh, the black
It's a lot
one?
of money for
Yeah,
a
that's
bike.
why he has a Macan now.
Oh.
And he
It's
has a
like-
Macan. He went from the Cayenne e-turbo to that.
That was a downgrade.
A little bit.
Yeah, but
X5M competition.
I would
Yeah, I
recommend
would. I mean, the problem is getting them pre-owned is almost the same as getting them new now, because there's such a markup for these vehicles. I've seen a couple of them recently. We've seen them.
we saw a great
And
one. It was
They
beautiful.
were like just $5,000-$10,000 less. They're not rare. It's just I've noticed that dealerships are scaling back on their performance vehicles to make it more of a rarity, so you will pay more money. And Mercedes kind of started this. Actually, Ford was the one that initially started it during COVID, and then Mercedes, they did where they weren't doing full AMGs, and BMW was pounding out M's. But now, not so much. They could be
They
everyday.
could be everyday
vehicles.
cars.
I mean, you just have to be happy with the gas, because
The
you're going to be
MPGs,
drinking
yeah.
gas.
That's the only
All
thing.
right, now let's go to Lamborghini.
Do you like American cars?
Yeah, I like Lincoln. I
Yeah.
think they make a great vehicle.
I don't like Lincoln.
Okay.
Our first vehicle was a Lincoln.
I don't really.
I like Ford.
I feel it's more of like an
Ford is really
overpriced
good.
Ford, in my opinion. I don't
Yeah.
feel like a Lincoln is
But-
something crazy.
The reason why I liked it is because it's inexpensive to service. It's a vehicle that will last.
Age terribly.
It doesn't
Over
age
100
very well.
grand,
Yeah.
and it's a little outdated.
Yeah,
What about the Lamborghini
it's a Ford.
Countach, the old one?
not a big fan. You can't even see out of the back. It's almost impossible to
Huge
get
fan.
inside.
Diablo's better.
Such a beautiful car.
Yeah.
What about the Huracan?
It's all right. It's
They
all right.
got- It's a bit overrated.
Well, we're gonna wrap this one up this week. We do have some more home improvement stuff that we got to get to. We look forward to
Oh,
next week's.
do you recommend the Urus?
Yeah, the Urus is a good car. It's a good SUV.
Yeah. But
TVs in the back.
we will be here next week, the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to check out the community tab, because we're always doing different questions and quizzes we've been doing now to see and answer different questions and whatnot.
The R7's good.
Yeah,
I would get a Yaris instead.
I'll get RS7 over
I'd get the
Yaris.
RS7. Yeah. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week, the same time, and have a great weekend. And keeps asking questions. A6, I would go S6. A4, I'd go S4 is the sweet spot.
S4.
Yeah, you want to go S4. Thank you again. Have a good day, and a good morning.
Have a good weekend.